All right, today we are breaking down the single most explosive, most powerful, and frankly, the fastest shot in any racket sport on the planet, the badminton smash. So let's start with a question that sounds kind of impossible. How can a shuttlecock, this little thing that weighs only about 5 grams, travel faster than a Formula One car at top speed? I mean, it seems like it completely defies the laws of physics, right? Well, the answer is this incredible mix of science, body mechanics, and pure technique.
And I'm not kidding about the speed. The world record for the fastest smash is an absolutely jaw-dropping 351 miles per hour. Just to put that into perspective, the fastest tennis serve ever recorded is about 163. So yeah, this isn't just about power. It's a legitimate scientific marvel.
So how on earth do players generate that kind of force? It's not about being the strongest person on the court. Not at all. The real secret? Well, it's all in the sequence. It's a super precise, coordinated chain of movements that basically turns the human body into an incredibly efficient, power-generating machine.
To really get how this works, we've got to start with some simple physics that makes this whole thing possible in the first place.
And it all boils down to this: Newton's second law. You probably remember it from school: force equals mass times acceleration. Now think about it. The shuttlecock's mass is tiny, and it's fixed. You can't change it. So if you want to create a massive amount of force, you're left with only one option. You have to create a massive amount of acceleration.
And that brings us to the ultimate goal here. Every single thing we're going to talk about, every piece of technique, every movement, it is all designed to do one thing and one thing only: maximize the speed of the racket head right at that moment of impact. That is the whole game. So, how do we get that speed? Well, we do it by unlocking something called the kinetic chain. And honestly, the best way to picture this is to imagine your body as a whip, right? The power doesn't come from the very tip. It starts at the handle and builds and builds and builds all the way to the end.
This quote really says it all. The power starts from the ground up. This is not just an arm movement. The energy literally transfers in a sequence up through your body, and each part has a little more momentum to the mix.
So here's how that sequence actually plays out. It all begins with step 1, pushing off the ground with your legs. That force then travels up and drives step 2, the explosive rotation of your hips and your torso. That rotation then whips your shoulder and arm forward in step 3, and all of that energy culminates in the final blistering racket head speed in step 4. You see? Each step multiplies the force from the one before it.
But here's the really wild part, the thing that's kind of counterintuitive. To transfer all that energy effectively, each part of your body has to slow down, like almost instantly after it speeds up. Think about cracking that whip again. Each section has to stop on a dime to transfer its energy to the next one. So your hips rotate super fast and then they slam on the brakes, sending all that energy to your torso. Then your torso does the exact same thing for your arm. It's this crazy chain reaction of accelerating and then braking that channels every last bit of force directly into the racket.
Okay, so the theory is cool, right? But how do we actually do it? Let's break down the anatomy of a perfect smash, piece by piece.
A monster smash starts way before you actually swing. Your prep is everything. First, you have to get your body behind the shuttle. You've got to turn your body sideways. That's key for full rotation. Your non-racket arm needs to be up and pointing forward. That's for balance and power. And this is a big one. Your grip needs to be relaxed, not a death grip. That allows for that final fast snap of the wrist.
And check this out. Here's a little pro-level detail backed by actual science. A study from Loughborough University found that the perfect sweet spot isn't actually dead center on the strings. For maximum power, you want to make contact about 2 centimeters above the center and 1 centimeter toward the inside of the racket. It's a tiny, tiny adjustment that makes a massive difference.
All right, now for the fun stuff. Let's run a quick smash clinic and go over the most common mistakes that are just robbing players of power. And I'm willing to bet you'll probably recognize one of these in your own game.
First up, incomplete rotation. This is probably the biggest one. Look at the incorrect side. That's an arm-only swing. All that amazing power you could be getting from your legs and your core, it's just completely wasted. Now compare that to the correct side, where the entire body rotates into the shot. That's using the full kinetic chain we've been talking about. Next up, the passive non-racket arm. It's so common to see players just let this arm hang there, but that throws off your balance and it actually stops you from getting a full chest rotation. But look at the correct way.
You point that arm up and forward, which preloads your core muscles. Then, as you swing, you pull it in tight to your body to speed up your rotation. It's exactly what a figure skater does to spin faster.
And here's a classic timing mistake: hitting the shuttle when you're already on your way down from a jump. Hitting it at the absolute peak, like you see on the right, gives you a way better, steeper angle and lets you translate all that upward momentum into the shot. Seriously, jumping just a split second later can be the difference between a weak shot that hits the net and a smash that's a clean winner.
And here are just a few other common power killers to keep an eye out for. That tight death grip, a choppy or hesitant backswing, or just being in the wrong position relative to the shuttle. All of these little things break that kinetic chain and just bleed power from your shot. One of the best things you can do is film yourself playing. It's amazing what you'll spot.
Okay, we have covered a ton of ground, from the physics of force to the common mistakes on the court. So let's try to put it all together now and take this from theory to reality.
At the end of the day, a really powerful smash isn't just one thing, it's a formula. It's a combination of these three pillars. You have to understand the basic physics, you have to master the biomechanics of that kinetic chain, and then you have to drill the technique over and over through practice until it's just pure muscle memory.
And this is probably the single most important piece of advice I can give you. If you watch yourself and you see a bunch of things you're doing wrong, please don't get overwhelmed and try to fix everything at once. Just pick one thing. Maybe it's your non-racket arm. Maybe it's getting your body turned sideways. Focus only on improving that one area until it feels natural, and then move on to the next. Which really leaves us with a final question for you to take to your next practice. The smash is a chain, and we all know a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. So, take a second and think about your own technique. Which link in your kinetic chain are you going to strengthen first?